I'm Zak Coleman, 19 years old, and for the 2018 season I was based in Belgium riding for VP Consultants and ATA. I wouldn't say that living away from home as such is the biggest challenge. It's more of living in a different country where sort of obviously there's a different language, you don't know all the places, and it's a lot more remote than the UK, and it's a completely different culture than sort of what it is here. Biggest challenge for me was in July I got myocarditis, so when you're in that environment it's quite hard to then be able to take a step back away from racing, which I had to do to get rest to make it sort of to recover from it, and it was sort of in the height of the season, right when I was doing like the biggest races, getting the best form. So it was in that environment, which is quite intense. It was hard to sort of look past it, but luckily there's sort of quite a good group of people that I live with, so and we get good support from the Dave Rayner Fund. So when I came down with the myocarditis, it was quite hard, and it sort of gave me quite a big effect because all the doctors were giving me worst case scenario. So they were sort of saying, oh, you know, we think you've had a heart attack and stuff like this. So it's a lot worse than it actually was, but yeah, they had to give me worst case scenario. And luckily, because of the way that the health system works out there, I got sort of a lot of support from like the top cardiologists and got really good support through that way. So I'm quite thankful in a way that I was there rather than home, because if it was through the NHS, I'm sure it'd take a lot longer. Yeah, so the Dave Rayner Fund supports athletes that are sort of aspiring professional cyclists, and they do that through giving them funding so that they can live abroad, have access to racing full time, and sort of take all the other life pressure out, so that they can focus purely on riding a bike full time and get the best from that. And they've supported previous champions like Adam Yates, Dan Martin, Adam Blythe, so there's quite a good list of sort of current pros there. And then I came into contact with them last year when I came and stayed in Tim Harris's house in Belgium, and through that, his partner Jocelyn Ryan, who organises the Dave Rayner Fund, she then told me about the fund and then how I could get on or apply next year, and then that's what I ended up doing. We were kind of left alone in the house this year to sort of get on with it, but we had supervision from Jocelyn Ryan, which helped a lot because it kept us in line a little bit. But we also had two people in the house that are a lot older than us, so we could feed off their experience a little bit. But I think anyone in cycling has got a bit of a screw loose really, so it made for an interesting time, that's for sure.
Any particular interesting times living with a load of cyclists with the screws loose?
I could list them all off, but yeah, there's definitely some interesting moments like people clashing and getting good results, bad results, how that changes them, and yeah, staying up watching Love Island and stuff like that. So playing PS4 and yeah.
In onesies, pajamas, or what sort of?
A couple of them did have onesies, but the Tim Harris, who owns the house, doesn't like them, so he banned them from the house, and they weren't allowed them any more than that, so they had to find a substitute. So. worked out really well and took my mind off things. And then around 3 months ago, I started my own coaching company called Optimum Coaching. And that's now been going about 3 months, and we've got some good riders on board. And it's picking up really well. I thought it would take a little while to pick off, but yeah, it kicked off really well actually. And then going forwards, I can do that all in my spare time over in Belgium, and we get a lot of free time in the afternoons and evenings. So as long as you keep organised, then it works really well alongside that. Limited by the health issues, but towards the end of the year. But first half of the year was quite a big learning curve, so I'm glad that the way it went. I think maybe having a bit more confidence in my own riding, going for moves and sort of believing in that I can do it, which affects the way you race a little bit. But now I know that I can perform at that level. Then next year, then we'll have a confidence element to it. This year I ended up doing about 35 to 40 race days, but I was aiming for more sort of towards 50 to 60 race days, but I had to cut the season short. But a lot of them come in stage races, and over there you can race sort of 5-6 times a week quite easily, so you have a lot to choose from. So when you hit a good run of form, you can maximise that as much as possible, really. So my race weight's around 67, 68 kilo, and I dropped down to about 66 and a half, which might not seem too much, but I sacrificed quite a bit of power and my performance dipped a bit, and I couldn't hit any of the numbers, and sort of beat myself up a bit and thought I was absolutely useless in my own mind, and then decided to go back up. But I think there's sort of quite a misconception that being mega lean makes a huge difference, especially in Belgium, when realistically all the climbs are sort of power climbs over a couple of minutes long, so I don't think it makes too much difference. I think Shimano is the best, hands down. Although I think ETAP's starting to rival it, but definitely Shimano. I've always had Shimano, and I probably always will, without team changes to that. But if I had the preference, definitely Shimano.